My name is Victoria, and I just wanted to tell y'all a little bit about myself and what brought me here to NAMI and why it means so much to me. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, but I attended LSU for my undergrad. Go Tigers! And I'll be attending Tulane University in the fall to pursue my master's in social work. My brother and I were born less than 2 years apart. I spent my entire childhood following him around, trying to do all the things my cool older brother did. As we got older, we became inseparable. We shared all the same friends, we went to the same high school, and we loved each other tremendously. He was my hero and my protector. When my brother turned 16, he began to struggle with depression. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. He was just unhappy, but it was high school who wasn't unhappy. But as time passed, his episodes of depression grew more deep and more filled with despair, and they were followed by episodes of mania, and he was later diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Depression and addiction occur frequently throughout my whole family, and it seems my brother got hit with a double dose from both sides of the gene pool. He saw many great doctors and tried many great medications, but nothing seemed to really help him. As his suffering became worse, his friends became scarce. The more hospitals and rehabs he entered and exited, the less his friends seemed to be able to pick up the phone. When he voluntarily left our high school, the pain and stress unable to manage, I heard people whispering about him in the hallways, saying, "What's wrong with him?" People even alienated me because they didn't know what to say to me. No one understood what we were going through, and we all felt incredibly alone. After 4 years of bravely fighting back against his illness, at the young age of 20, my brother passed away. The alienation that we felt only grew worse. My mother recalls a story of going to the grocery store and seeing one of her best friends of over 10 years on the opposite end of the aisle. And her friend looked up and saw her and turned her cart around and practically ran the other direction. She was too terrified to face my mother, too afraid because she didn't know what to say, and none of us knew what to say. People treated us like our family had caught some contagious disease, that if their family got too close, they might catch it too. So people just stayed away, and my mom started shopping at a grocery store in a different neighborhood. This is why NAMI is so important to me. NAMI spreads awareness on the topic of mental illness. They help fight stigma just like the stigma that my family faced. They provide free education, and they get people talking. NAMI also raises money for mental health research, which I think is one of the most necessary parts. Mental illness is like any other illness that affects your body, but because you can't always see it and people don't understand it, it receives a lot less funding. NAMI works hard to improve the lives of the people it represents, the people just like my brother. NAMI has support groups not only for those suffering from mental illness, but for friends and family like myself. My mother found a support group in Houston, and I did private grief therapy, and both of us agree that we don't know how we would have survived without this help. This is why I walk. I walk for my brother, and I walk for all those like my brother. I walk because I'm not afraid, and I walk because I don't want others to be afraid. Being a team captain has been something I've enjoyed tremendously. NAMI has an easy-to-follow website. You can create a personal and a team webpage and tell your own personal story. It's easy to share with friends, family, coworkers, and on sites like Facebook and Twitter. Email or post a link, and they can do almost everything online in a matter of minutes. Or for those who are less technologically savvy, you can still collect cash and checks for your team. My mother and I encouraged our friends to give what they could, no matter how small. Sometimes people seemed embarrassed they couldn't give very much. They didn't want to give at all. But every dollar counts, and every donation is important to somebody. Last, I want to remind you how much fun this walk is going to be. I can't think of a more perfect location than Audubon Park in New Orleans. Although this walk is for a serious and important issue, the walk to me feels more like a celebration of the life that can be obtained when there is support. I see this walk as an opportunity to celebrate the life of my brother and to fight for those who are still suffering, that they may continue to be offered better resources, that mental illness be better understood, and that every person be treated with understanding and compassion. Thank you.